So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be moving into our fireside chat, and this conversation involves a few interesting individuals ready to join us. I'd like to welcome all our fireside chat participants to kindly take place on stage with Mark Koh, the CEO and founder of Supa, Yusuke Mori, the CEO and founder of NewellRoad, and Warren Leow, CEO and founder of AI Tinker Tailor Soldier. And joining us to moderate the conversation with Hanif Marzuki from YV Asia. Hanif, over to you.
Check. Okay. Thank you, Terence. Thank you. Hey guys, how's everyone? Tak ada semangat lah. How's everyone? Hi. Okay, guys. Today we have an interesting session. So, good morning, good afternoon, and I hope you guys have a very interesting session. So, welcome to the Fireside Chat, Startup Bridge, AI Innovation Between Emerging and Mature Markets. So, I have to be honest with you, when they gave me the chance to moderate this panel, I was so excited. So, I straight away go do what all normal moderators do nowadays. I go to ChatGPT. And then ChatGPT gave me a response that gave me longer description with more buzzwords. Right. So, basically, what we will discuss today is we will discuss on how to teach computers, how to sell things to people who may or may not want those things in a country that may or may not have the infrastructure to support those things, using data that may or may not exist. So this is a very, very interesting discussion. It's a discussion in where our life is on the line. Because, we need to make sure that we do all this without destroying our country. So AI is advancing so fast to the point where, hey, are we going to lose jobs? Are all of these solutions going to disrupt our entire life like the pandemic did? So today we have three interesting people. Mark Koh, Vice President of Chairman AI. We have a guy who is from Japan, Yusuke, the CEO of NewellRoad, and we have Warren, the CEO and the founder of AI Tinker. But on paper dia kata you are the founding members of Kain. Yeah. Okay, so let's straight jump into our question. Okay, let's start with a reality check. Okay, we all know the buzzword thing, AI transformation. Okay, this is the latest excitement that we all have. But what is those one specific moment when you realize that the gap between AI promises and the actual market that in your industry? So we can talk all about AI transformation, but we also want to understand the gap that exists within our industry. So let's start with you, Mark. Is there any gaps that you have or any challenges that you face in terms of implementing your solution or promoting your solution? And it's better yet, let's start with introducing yourself and explaining what you do.
Thanks so much. Really good description of actually all our businesses in a very layman terms. So that was really, really helpful. So my name is Mark. I'm the VP of this company called Shema. That's how you pronounce it. It's a French word which means the path.
It's Shema,
That's
Shema,
correct.
not Shemin, is it?
That's right, correct. Initially I thought it was Chemin, but it's not. It's actually Shema.
Shema.
Correct.
Okay,
So-
guys, together. 1, 2, 3. Shema.
Shema.
Okay,
That's right.
let's go.
Okay, so I used to run a company called Supa. We were acquired by a company called TDCX and now placed under this new company called Shema. what we do is AI enablement. We assist companies, AI teams around the world to prepare data to build good and useful AI solutions. So we work primarily with companies dealing with images, with video, text data, voice data. And what we do is we help to provide a human context layer to it. So we're massaging all the raw data that we might collect, and we are putting human ideas and thoughts into it to make it a lot more, of course, applicable to your day-to-day usage.
I remember you started doing this since early 2017, 2018,
Yeah, so we've
right?
been running this for quite a long time. And yeah, it's, that's before the whole AI craze sort of like built up. And we mainly work with companies in the US, in Europe, but now we're starting to see a bit more advancement within the ASEAN region itself, mainly Malaysia, Singapore, a lot of that sort of happening around this part of the world.
Any challenges in implementing your solution in the ASEAN region?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, right? So even in the US, there's still a lot of, complications, and it's not as usable as we need it to be yet. So for example, you might want to use ChatGPT, right? And use ChatGPT to answer a couple of questions. But when you bring it into the ASEAN region or to the Malaysian region itself, and you want to sort of use it within localized settings, it may not be able to give you local understanding. It's because the data that sits behind ChatGPT has been trained very much on a lot of US or westernized data. They don't understand a lot of our language, right? Our Bahasa Malaysia, our Manglish, any of the abbreviations that we have, they may not understand it. So we need to provide context to these models.
That is very interesting. Let's jump into Yusuke, because Yusuke is doing something that is very, very similar. Apparently, Yusuke is from Japan, and her daughter chose Malaysia. A round of applause to Yusuke's daughter for choosing Malaysia. And he runs an antler-backed startup called NewellRoad.
Yeah.
And one of the more interesting things that he did is he brings Japanese startups to Malaysia, to scale to Malaysia. So Yusuke.
Yeah. So yeah, again, thank you so much for introducing me. So yeah, actually, so today is my second year anniversary coming to Malaysia from Japan.
Okay. Another round of applause to Yusuke. 2 years in Malaysia.
Yeah, thanks to you, and I'm very honored being here today. So yeah, as I said, so we started our company last year with my co-founders, Malaysian, Italian, German guy, and we are building an AI market intelligence platform. So helping the companies to launch and scale the business in Southeast Asia. That is our goal. So previously, as you said, I had my own company where I helped the global company to expand their business in Japan and APAC regions. And through that experience, I found that if the Japanese company going to Malaysia, it's kind of going to the black box. So we can see who is the competitors and who is the supporters and alliance companies, and what is the regulations in that market, and what is the consumer trend in this market. So everything is like in black box. So we are building AI agents to help them to launch and expand a business in Southeast Asia.
Amazing. So let's jump back. Let's jump to Warren.
Yeah.
So actually, me and Warren, we know each other 20 kilos ago. Yeah. So and Yusuke have mentioned that one of his responsibility is bridging the gap between the Japanese market and the Malaysian market. And you, Warren, you actively do, I would say, nation building, actively pushing out policies or actively driving the idea of implementing AI transformation in Malaysia. Any gaps or any challenges in you doing that? Yeah.
So I'm one of the founding members of Consortium AI Negara. It's essentially a WhatsApp group with people who are involved in the AI space here. Because we don't have that big an AI ecosystem yet, but we do have a few pieces of elements here and there. And the key thing is really about consolidating everything into a condensed ecosystem so that the information can be diffused, discussions can happen, ideas can flow, and new businesses can form. The fact that we have a physical event here today as well to bring everybody together is something that's very encouraging to fill a gap. because we don't have a lot of elements. The key thing is to actually drive the density. So with Consortium AI, Negara, and also other things that my partners and I have been doing, one of the things would be on technical training. Technical training focusing on applied AI rather than fundamental AI. Because we don't have a lot of fundamental AI here in this country. That's the truth, right? Most of them are in the US or in China at the current moment.
Warren, can you explain to some of us who don't know on this stage, what is the difference between technical and applied AI?
So, for example, we're not training anybody to build an LLM or model completely from scratch. But rather, we are training organizations. We've trained about 1,000 people, coming from the largest corporates to SMEs and business owners and process owners, to roll out AI agents across their workflows. Because that's the way that you can actually unlock the yields of the lowest hanging fruits for business process automation using AI. Whether it's about introducing chatbots or automated ticketing systems or the way that you do marketing or using OCR to process information, but you add the LLM layer on top. Whether it's on the cloud or you want to host it privately, it's up to you, right? So those are the things that we're focusing on because that's essentially what the GLCs, the large organizations, your businesses would actually need due to the fact that it would help to increase efficiency, not by 20, 30%, but by 100%, 200%, right, for some of the processes that you are actually doing manually right now. So that's the promise. And I think the main gap over here is more about having an understanding and awareness first that it's actually not as intimidating to roll it out in your organization. Secondly, the cost is not that high because, the price per token has actually come down a lot. There are a lot of open source models, or even if you use the closed loop models, right, the API cost is not that high. The key thing is more about having the awareness and having the skills to roll it out in your respective organizations. But if you're a business owner, you're most likely going to be profit-driven. So if you want to maintain a P&L, and literally the ROI is there within the first 1 or 2 months.
I would just like to end you there because as a business owner, we are profit-driven, kan? We want to make sure everything runs efficiently and everything is optimized. Pushing the question to you, Mark. Usually AI founders, they usually build sophisticated solution. But how do we push this sophisticated solution to solve real world problem, which is sometimes basics, it's just a basic problem, or sometimes the problem has many layers. So what's the approach?
The way I would do it is not to actually build technology for the sake of building a product or a technology itself. I think the idea is to understand what the users actually want and to find the most efficient way to actually do it, rather than just building tech for tech's sake. And I think that's usually a big problem within the space itself. A lot of tech founders go out there without understanding the user base first or their user groups, and they start building a product first, trying to fit the user into the product rather than the product into the user itself. So I think maybe that approach is key before going out and starting to build anything.
Understanding the user. Let's pass to Yusuke. Yusuke, understanding the user. I believe your company specializes in making sure companies abroad, especially from language that is not Malaysian, to understand the nuances in Malaysia. So how do you do that? Because I think most data in Southeast Asia are not available online. So can you explain to us more about that?
Yeah, thank you so much. So currently, our company is now having around 40-ish user enterprise companies, and 50% is from Japan, and other less than 50% is from Malaysia, Singapore, and some US companies. So yeah, so there's several. So data is one thing we need to think about. So in Malaysia, as you said, data is not so available and siloed. So one of the approach we are taking is a partnership model. So we partner with data providers, but that provider is not AI enabled yet. So we provide our solution. So we create some solution with some partners. So that is one approach.
Amazing.
You should actually talk to us about data. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think this is great, right?
Yeah.
We can actually feed you with that data, and we do that quite a bit within the Malaysian context at the moment.
Yeah.
That is interesting. So passing to you, Warren, from even that we can see on the stage, some spark is happening. AI transformation, digital transformation, as we know from 10 years back, in Malaysia, it's all about collaboration. It's all about connecting the dots, kan? But in terms of connecting the dots, between the dots, there is a level of trust that you need to have. Even within your situation, when you want to tell companies that, hey, change to AI, use this AI solution to be implemented within your company. There is a certain level of trust that the company owner needs to have towards the technology. So how do we do that? Like how do we instill that?
First step in terms of trust, right, is whether you can trust yourself to make the right calls. Because, there's a lot of buzzword. That vendor will sell this vendor will sell that, right? Some will quote you $500,000 ringgit, some will quote you 2 million ringgit, some will quote you 50,000 ringgit. So in terms of an investment, right? And my philosophy is, just like, I think my fellow members over here, right? We're all very hands-on. Because if you're not hands-on with AI, you won't understand what it means specifically. Right now, especially given the fact that technology is moving so fast. So by being hands-on and the fact that you know your business inside out, you know the process inside out, it's easier for you to identify and understand what does it mean actually substantially, right, or substantively. And what's possible in terms of you pushing the boundaries, right? A simple example is, whenever we run a training courses, within the first 2 hours, we train people on how to build their own chatbots. So it opens up a light bulb moment because every business needs their own chatbot, right? And then they're getting quotes from all these vendors. It costs you 100,000 ringgit, 200,000 ringgit, but actually it costs you just half an hour to just create and launch your own chatbot. So when you know it and you do it yourself, even though you're not a technical person, then it's easier for you to see, if I can do it, then all my machais can do it as well. All my team members can do it too. It's not as intimidating and it doesn't cost as much, but the only thing I need to do is increase my understanding more. Right? So when you go into the mode of increasing your own understanding and you're on a warpath to roll out AI across your entire organization, then you lead by example. Now is the phase where, because there's so much disruption, the leaders have to lead by example. And this is something that we know, regardless of whatever vendor or myself or anybody else will tell you, right? You have to learn by being involved yourself. So when I speak to the biggest bosses of My News or KLK or YTL, and these are some examples of companies that we've been training, right? Or will be training, right? They're all in the training sessions themselves. Because when they want to roll it out to the thousands of people or their different layers who are in their 50s or in their late 40s and not digitally savvy, they have to be upfront to push it through and to inspire them or to put it as an ultimatum or a mandate and say, look, this is disruptive. This will help us reduce our cost or increase our efficiency or accuracy. Or this is existential to our consulting business. We need to roll it out, and that's it. Push it through.
Interesting perspective. And as a founder ourselves, one of our priorities, other than rolling out our solution to our clients, is also scaling our business. And Mark, so being in the space before the AI boom, meaning to say that you were playing with data before data was functional, for consumers at least, kan? So how do you scale your company? Like, what are the challenges that you face, and why did you end up with the chess move that you have right now?
Good question. So over the years, I suppose building the business itself in this part of the world is a bit challenging when all our customers were actually in the western side of the world. So we did a lot of travel across to the US to sort of build leads, and we were able to then do the work back here in Southeast Asia itself. To be able, and the whole market's sort of moving from the whole startup space to the whole tech space. Now it's very much enterprise that we go after. And Supa, the company that I was with, couldn't go after a lot of these large enterprises because of the compliance, because of the security that was needed. So I needed like a bigger brother to come in to say, hey, I've got all the ISOs, I've got all the SOC 2s that you need, I've got all the compliance and privacy policies that we actually need to be able to close these larger enterprise deals. So right now, that was the main reason why I decided to make this move, to be able to close larger enterprise deals with companies in the US or in the western side of the world.
So scaling via collaboration.
Via collaboration and partnership. I think that's the key thing, right? I think doing it alone is very tough, and these boys have been talking about this a lot, where you have to do this together. And I think within Malaysia itself, by us all working together to be able to scale the region and to adopt AI, I don't think it's not just from one person or a couple of people, but it needs to be the whole ecosystem playing a part to want to actually build AI within the organization.
So what about you, Yusuke? For Mark, it's scaling via collaboration, but your company,
Yeah.
the main ethos is scaling via data. You
Mm.
take a look at consumers' data for certain location, and
Yeah.
then you help companies to scale using data. Or am I wrong?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So basic thing is like we as a startup is solving client needs and problem. So that is what we are living, right? So thing is how we prioritize and how we focus. That is a key, I think.
And just to understand from
Yeah.
your side, because you choose Malaysia as your base,
Yes.
any issues in having Malaysia as a base for a technology company, especially if you are dealing with clients from Japan or clients from outside of Malaysia?
Yes. So maybe for the challenge, there's two segments. One is technology, and the one is a business side, right? So technology-wise, so data is one problem. So we need to understand what is the client needs and what we need to prioritize to get that data. That is one. And one more thing is business. So yeah, so Malaysia and Japan is a very similar maybe mentality from the business standpoint, but yeah, Malaysian people also a little bit conservative on the diving into the AI still. So we need to educate or sharing some information to the clients. So very carefree and in the same stage. So that is a very important point, and we are trying to do it.
Yeah, that is a challenge. Sometimes client in Malaysia is a bit conservative, kan? So Warren, how do you convince an 84-year-old board of director to adopt AI within your organization? Is there any challenges?
I think most there won't be a lot of 84-year-old directors. Most of the directors are probably in their 60s or just before retirement, right? But the key thing is that all these people are also still very sharp because they understand what it means in terms of the business fundamentals. The key thing is really just to show them the awareness that things are changing in terms of how you run a business, and it's something good, right, and not something that's detrimental, because essentially your business will be a lot more efficient. You can do a lot more for a lot less, right? A lot more for a lot less. And actually, a lot of these are people in the 60s and 70s. They rise up to that level, they're also naturally very, very curious. And these are people who will still be playing with ChatGPT and so on and so forth, right? But back to the point, it's really bringing people to the point where they have an awareness, they have enough practice, they come for sessions, but they get hands-on, or they get their people under them to go hands-on and give it as a mandate. And as long as you can quantify the upside, which is very easy nowadays, right? I have 10 people. I replace 3, right, with AI. So it's very easy to quantify the cost of savings, right? So with that, you can try to extract a percentage of that value as part of your revenue and your business proposition. There you go. That's your business case.
Interesting. Okay, just want to open up because rasa macam shock sendiri kan, 4 orang atas pentas. Just want to open up. Is there any questions from the floor? Anyone wants to ask question, or anyone has boiling ataupun any inquiries that you want to ask to the panels on the stage? No? Oh yes. Can we pass? Yeah.
Hi everyone, Abdul speaking. So seeing friends on the stage, that makes you a bit stressful, but you want to put them on a challenge. I'm going to ask a question towards Mark, but I want Yusuke and Warren to give us their perspective first. So Mark, a few years ago, you opened up the phone book and started calling US to get leads. We are in 2025. Would you take the same strategy now and present yourself as a Malaysian company? Or would you do it differently? So maybe if we start with Warren and Yusuke and then
Sounds good.
back to Mark.
Would you tell your
About
client that
his-
you're a Malaysian
his
company?
go-to
If I'm
market
selling
strat-
abroad, I would not brand it as a Malaysian company. I will use the Malaysian cost base, but I will brand it as a global company. Because when you want to sell to the Americans, or you want to sell to the Japanese or the Chinese, right? There's an advantage of having an international feel to the whole thing. Right. So I would brand it as we've got operations in Malaysia, but it would not be selling from a Malaysian company.
Yeah. maybe a similar point, but I think one of the greatest things in Malaysia market is as I said in the beginning, so Malaysia is an inclusive and a diverse economy, and any product, so any AI products also related to that culture, so that's affect on that product. And Malaysia is inherently the diverse society and inclusive society. So that's gonna be the great advantage for Malaysia. So I believe that Malaysia is gonna be the AI digital hub in the future and good test bed for all AI companies.
Amazing, Yusuke. Mark.
Yeah, so I still feel that I'm a proud Malaysian. People buy people, right? So for me to win customers in the US or anywhere else in the world, it's pretty much just being present in that location and meeting them face to face if possible. How I brand the business itself, I'm never shying away from being a Malaysian company, but I think pretty much we're a global business because we have, we always talk about we have people across different parts of the world. We are not just hiring Malaysians, we hire people from the Middle East, from North Asia. We are quite expanded across the region itself. So we're never just a local business, but we're now a global organization. That's how I sort of brand it. And like I mentioned, by me being present in those locations to meet different people, it really helps to move the needle itself.
Thank you. Thank you for the question from the floor. Okay, I only have 5 minutes, so one final question from me. I'm not big on being the leader, meaning to say that I'm not big on championing the notion of, hey, let us help Malaysia becoming the leader for AI. But I'm big on preparing the mindset of the people, and I'm big on preparing the infrastructure, right? So, Mark, what can we do or to actually prepare the mindset, our own mindset even, to see that the rapid evolution in technology, like it's happening rapidly, and we need to grab the opportunity. So, yeah.
I think it's just you got to play the game. So you can't just read what's sort of going on and observe all these things going past you. I think you need, like what Warren said, right? You need to participate. You need to learn. You need to try to apply that knowledge or apply a new skill or an application that's just been launched. You need to try it. So integrate AI into your personal life for you to, not just your business life, but for your personal life. And I think it will go a very long way in terms of the adoption of AI.
What about you, Yusuke?
Yeah, so I think so. Those kind of this event is great event. So collaboration, across the industry or stakeholder is very important, and eventually discussing each other is very important. So one note is that so I and our co-founder is launching the AI salon in Kuala Lumpur. So AI salon is US community AI community globally. So the Chris Ye and the LinkedIn co-founder is started that event, and then so I met those guys, and we wanted to bring that into Kuala Lumpur. So they said that the investors, AI cannot be built only startup. So enterprise company who is gonna utilize, and engage their clients, and the investors as well, and the academia, and also the venture capital. So a lot of stakeholder is collaborating and building the AI ecosystem. So that is the main concept. So we want to build that ecosystem like this ecosystem.
Thank you, Yusuke. And Warren, just to twist the question a bit, I always personally consider you not a fire starter, but an explosion. Okay, so as I always see you as at the early stage of the startup ecosystem, you were capitalizing on the opportunity. And then at the early stage of all the technological revolutions that we have since 2014, I've seen you at the forefront. Right now specifically, how can we be like you? How can we strategically grab the opportunities that is available in front of us?
You shouldn't be like me. You should be like Mark and Yusuke as well, right? You should be like all of you also. The fact that you're here learning, that's a good starting point, right? But let's think about it from an organization or ecosystem perspective. I think, adding on to what Mark has said and what Yusuke has said as well. For us to build something, you need to have a few things. You need to have 3 components. One is clarity. What to do, how to do, and why to do it, especially within AI. Things are moving so fast. You need to have the clarity of it. The only way to get the clarity is to educate yourself, right? From YouTube, from doing, from attending, talking to people, but you must do, right? Not just listen. Second thing is density. How do you bring your friends together? How do you bring the top people, change agents within your company together? Because then you get the support to push things through, right? Especially when things are moving so fast and you need to innovate or you need to change business processes, you want to change the culture, you want to change the thinking, but the key things, moving and changing the status quo. And the third thing is actually velocity. How can you move faster? Right? Because it's a speed of movement, right? The business world is going to get more and more competitive. Whoever can move the fastest and the earliest, it's going to make a lot of money, right? It's gonna have a lot of opportunity. It's going to identify many different things to go into, to find deals and so on and so forth. So the velocity and speed of movement. So how do you prepare yourself and your organization, your teams, and your community, your friends to move fast? Clarity, density, and velocity.
5 seconds to promote yourself, Warren.
If you want to go for AI agentic training that's HIDC claimable, please come and look for me. Thank you.
Yusuke, 5 seconds to promote yourself.
Yeah, so if you want to understand the Malaysian and APAC market, in the deeper level, please let me know. And the AI salon is coming up, so please DM me any interest.
Mark?
Localized data, talk to us.
If you want to talk to university students or if you want to have fun inside Berjaya, I run a pasar malam every Friday to Sunday. It's called Lorong Belakang. Come experience the true Malaysian culture. My name is Hanif. Thank you for the session and I hope you enjoy the summit. Assalamualaikum.